Hi, my name is Grace Blecka, and today I'm going to be discussing how special education became the way it is today. First, I want to talk about the major decisions in the past and a little bit of the history. So first, in 1954, Brown versus Board of Education. Now, this really relates more to whether African Americans should be in the school district or not, but more importantly, I think it was how only whites should be allowed in the school district, not no students with disabilities were able to go to school. Nobody was. And I think having this law passed was a major turn for really getting ahead and allowing everybody to be in the school system. Second, in 1966, an amendment was added that gave public schools funding for students with disabilities. Now, this is again very major because prior to this, there were not a whole lot of resources and other things available for students with disabilities that now allowing this gave them more and made them have a better education. In 1973, students with disabilities could not be denied benefits from federal funding. This is very important because students were not allowed, could not be denied any resources. They had to be given equal opportunities. 1975, IDEA was signed, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. 1982, students within special education programs will have IEPs to help them succeed, individual education programs, and this is important because not all students learn the same, and especially students with disabilities, this gave them specific resources and made the lesson plans modified to them specifically. And then lastly, in 2004, No Child Left Behind Act was developed where professionally trained students were required to teach special education students. This is important because general education teachers may not have the right training needed and the right degree, and whereas teachers specifically trained for this can know how to help them and how to make them succeed. Now I want to talk about a little bit the two more specific cases related to students with disabilities and their parents. And yes, students are the most important, but parents are also important, and they should know what resources they can have and what rights they have. So first, Andrew S. versus Douglas County School. A fifth grade student with autism was not making progress in his IEPs because in previous years they were all the same. And so his parents decided to pull him to a different private school, more specific for autism, and they wanted reimbursement for that because they felt like he needed to be moved in order to make changes. And after being denied many, many times at the federal level, they took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court agreed with them and said, hardly be said to have been offered an education at all. And this, I feel like this, how I interpret it, is saying that because he was not given the right IEPs, he could not succeed into what he was supposed to be. So now they passed a law where the IEPs have to be encouraging and challenging for all students. And then Honning versus Doe. Two students with disabilities acted out due to other students peer pressuring them and kind of teasing them. And they were both suspended and were working towards being expelled. Their parents did not like this because of the Stay Put Act, and after many, many disagreements and stuff like that, they took it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled that because of the Stay Put Act, their students could not be expelled. And students can only be suspended for up to 5 days, and this is more importantly, the students have to be staying in the same education plan in the same school as they originally were while all this stuff is going on. And finally, I want to talk about all the different resources that are available. So first, Intervention Central is a website that you can go to where it has intervention and assessment resources for special education students. It's free to teachers, and they can go and see what trends are most recent to them about helping these students be successful. Second, Adopting for Autism. Resources and materials and tips for working with students with autism, I think this is great because there's so many different resources that you can have, and I think that it's important to have it all in one website and the most recent ideas coming. Lastly, I'm going to be teaching in Colorado, so I chose to do one on the Colorado Department of Education. There's a little tab, it says Stay Up to Date, and right now it has a lot of what's going on with COVID regarding special education students, but I think this is a great way to stay up to date in Colorado of what trends and cases are going on. So thank you, that's all I have. I hope this was beneficial, and thank you for listening. Bye.